where a lot of companies have, a playbook where they solve um, their issues by presenting what their solutions are. We do more time listening and
Mm-hmm.
then building out those solutions for what's actually needed. So we can offer anything from a single person to, like I said, a whole model where we own and operate on behalf of the client.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Scott Moores. He's the Partnership Success Manager at Salute Mission Critical. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Happy to have you. So, Scott, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a partnership success manager at Salute. Before I did that, I spent 12 years active duty in the Air Force, and I'm also a reservist at this point in the Iowa Air National Guard.
Oh, thank you
Big
for
focus in IT.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, thank you for your service.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell me a little bit more kind of about how you got to Salute Mission Critical and what you do at Salute Mission Critical.
Yeah, I've done a lot of different things at Salute Mission Critical over the last 4 years, but they pulled me right out of active duty. I had decided that it was time to make a little bit more control in my life, living where I wanted to live and doing some of those things and really kind of just forging my way into the world. So they picked me up right out of active duty. We're a data center services organization, and I had been working in a data center doing a lot of IT support, but also a lot of the facility management aspects in my last role while I was active duty.
Okay.
So that's where they found me. I started out in project management for a lot of data center cleans and different things in the Midwest region.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just kind of grown from there to take over an operations role for dedicated support. Did that for a few years, and then finally they decided that I should have less stress with employees directly underneath me and focus more really on just the clients and seeing how we can achieve better partnership and success and how we can grow together better. So that's my new role. I've been doing it for about a year.
That's fantastic. That's great. So Salute Mission Critical, you told me a little bit more kind of about what you do. Talk to me a little bit more about the services that Salute Mission Critical offers and the solutions.
Yeah, so Salute Mission Critical is really cool within the data center industry because what we do is a little bit of what's needed within the industry. We have been solving some of the talent shortages issues by hiring a lot of veterans and training them, and then offering our clients bespoke solutions to really solve whatever they need. So really anything from security projects like cleaning or dedicated operations where we actually run and help manage the entire data center. So it's really life cycle services, and we're really a see a need, fill a need kind of company. One of the other really great things that we're doing is a program that's called Total Cost of Ownership. And what it's really doing is showcasing how we can save exponentially. The more size and scale of a data center using our program, we're finding exponential savings in it. And again, that goes to sharing workload.
Talk to me more about that.
It's definitely something new, and it is showing on the paper over and over. I wish I could say more to it, but I'm not a master of the operations aspect. But basically, the idea is by using our model, we can reduce headcount by several positions, and that scales as the size grows. And with that shared load, we're seeing significant savings by outsourcing a lot of the work with us. We're able to do a lot of the preventative maintenance operations, a lot of the other things where usually you would have a whole bunch of third-party vendors come in to do it. We can actually reduce the need for them, and that saves significant costs overall annually.
And do you tend to see a certain size company working better with Salute Mission Critical, or kind of talk to me a little bit about that?
So really we're capable of starting with brand new data centers that are just launching, helping them find ways to save on a lot of costs by using some of our really unique solutions with our multi-skilled operators, which allow us to kind of break down some job silos, and then even our total cost of operations. So anything from a beginning data center that maybe be smaller to some of the hyperscalers that are Fortune 20 companies.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can really work with any to find and solve problems. That's really kind of what we're good at.
That's fantastic. So you talked a little bit about, employing veterans. Talk to me about some other ways that, Salute Mission Critical is able to stand out from its competition. Because I think, obviously supporting veterans you is obviously, near and dear to your heart. So kind of
Right.
talk to me a little bit about that.
So some of the other things that we do, really, we're still a young company, and we're really flexible and hungry, I think. So where a lot of companies have, a playbook where they solve um, their issues by presenting what their solutions are, we do more time listening and
Mm-hmm.
then building out those solutions for what's actually needed. So we can offer anything from a single person to, like I said, a whole model where we own and operate on behalf of the client.
Oh, wow. So like you said, it can kind of be a smaller project to an all-encompassing project.
Right. It could be as something as simple as maybe coming and cleaning a data center underneath to help with preventative maintenance and life cycle to, like I said, a full-time dedicated support operation.
Yeah. And how do you start kind of figuring out where to start with a company?
Mostly it's just a lot of back and forth trying to
Yeah.
understand what their needs are, what they're looking to achieve,
Hmm.
and if we have solutions, we have a lot of great expertise and leadership from
Hmm.
from all over the industry for the last 20 to 30 years with plenty of experience. So
Yeah.
really, it's just listening and solving what those challenges are by presenting some of our solutions and trying to
Yeah.
see if that would make sense.
What would you say probably some of the most common challenges that your customers have before they come to Salute Mission Critical?
A lot of our clients are trying to, just like everyone in the world, do more with less, right? So we've found that putting the right person at the
Mhm.
right skill level on the right tasks makes a big difference.
Mm.
So you can have an engineer doing work that is maybe beneath their skill set, so they're really not being utilized the way they should be. They're doing a lot of work that could be done by a more junior technician,
Mhm.
and that's kind of a waste of money. So finding ways to solve those kind of problems.
Mhm.
Again, there's other issues where technicians are underutilized, right?
Mhm.
So they only have one scope of work responsibility, but they have a lot more bandwidth. So by being more flexible or versatile with our multi skilled operators, we can actually break down those barriers and kind of
Mhm.
solve more problems with less resources.
That's fantastic. So, what would you say would be a common misconception that a lot of people have either about, the data space, about Salute Mission Critical? What would you say that would be?
When it comes to Salute Mission Critical, often we start with a client,
Yeah.
and we're really good at what we do, and so we kind of get labeled as the company that does this. So one of the biggest challenges and things that we have to overcome is letting them know that we're not a one-trick pony. We are a
Yeah.
lifecycle services organization, and we can solve just about anything you throw at us.
Hmm. Hmm. And how do you work to continue to build out that brand name so that people do know, you are a life cycle services solution and service?
It's a lot of different avenues to hit that. We hit a lot of the professional conferences and make sure that we're engaged in a lot of speaking engagements. There's
Mhm.
white papers and things that go out, obviously, as well.
Mhm.
But then when it comes to our clients that are already in-house, it's really just taking the time to have those business reviews
Mhm.
and let them know when they have certain challenges that we can solve them. And that happens a lot, really, when we actually show up. We're not just a remote company out in the ether. We take the time to visit with our clients and be on site and really understand their needs. So by doing that, we find that there's a lot more opportunity.
Yeah. Well, it sounds too like that's a big layer of trust that you're able to weave into the relationship, in companies not only trusting you with, their projects, but also too, having that in-person interface. Not a lot of people can do that anymore.
No, it can be very busy, but like I said, we have a great team of people
Yeah.
that love to be with the client and really solve their problems. So when we can get that face-to-face time, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It was challenging, obviously, during the COVID times, but we all worked through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, for me, travel didn't stop too much. It was
Okay.
just how we
Yeah.
how we engaged. We didn't necessarily go on site nearly as much because
Mhm.
everybody was really locked down. But if there was an opportunity to be in an open area outside
Yeah.
and have a conversation, we would do that. But obviously, we work in IT, so web conferencing, it was always an option. It's definitely not my preferred
No.
uh, method, but I mean, you still get that ability to be personable and just making sure you set up enough communication checkpoints and really
Yeah.
just checking in to build those relationships.
Yeah, that's great. So you talked a little bit about kind of using conferences, using white pages. Talk to me a little bit about some other ways that, if some our listeners were listening that they could find you.
Yeah, so we're on a lot of different social media aspects too. Obviously, LinkedIn, like any organization. We also have a Facebook presence for older folks like myself and others, and I'm pretty sure we're on Twitter as well. But I mean, we do, like I said, share quite a bit of information, and we're also deeply ingrained with the infrastructure masons, and so that's another professional organization within the data center space. So
Yeah.
a lot of projects and work with them as well.
Yeah, very nice. Great. So, Scott, if you were to leave our listeners with one piece of information, either about Salute Mission Critical, about, the life cycle services that you're able to offer, talk to me, what would be one thing that you would want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, really, the big thing in the data center industry is that data keeps growing. Like in 2021, there was 79 billion terabytes of data collected, and it's only expected to grow to like over 150 billion by 2025. That means that there's going to be a whole bunch of more people required. I think they're expecting 300,000 new positions globally by 2025 within the space. And we're out here solving those problems, finding ways to either shrink the workload by hiring the right people and just solving those talent shortages. So we're here and we're ready to solve those challenges.
That's fantastic. That's great. That's a fantastic stat, Scott. And I did not realize that that was the amount of data that was coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
That's a number that I don't think I can even wrap my head around.
Yeah, it's a zettabyte is a billion terabytes. So if you can imagine 79 annually,
Yeah,
it's-
that's insane. That's insane. Well, it
and then
sounds like Salute
doubling.
Mission Critical is certainly going to be at the precipice for what is needed to to affect change in the future, and really being there to support the datas with their companies, kind of in that space. So thanks for taking the time to be on Business Ninjas today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, always like happy to to share what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.